This meeting is being recorded. Do you want to continue? Continue.
That's new.
Yeah.
Um, wow, you cut me off.
I'm sorry.
So, Michelle,
Yeah.
how are you doing in the first, real summer weather of the year? It's like 80 something where you are and 80 something where I am.
Mm-hmm.
How are you doing with it?
I'm doing okay. I don't have any air conditioners installed yet, so that's gonna be interesting. It's not that warm in here. It's only like 76 degrees, so
I mean, that's a little warm. Like I would start to if it was 76 degrees in here, I'd be like, is it warm in here? It feels warm. And then I'd go look at the thing like, oh, because it's 76 degrees. I keep the house relatively chilly at like 71, 72. Sometimes a little cooler if the dogs are panting a lot. I feel
mm-hmm.
bad, so I make it cooler. Because they're nothing but fur. And so yeah, I try to take okay care of them. Um, but no, I just mowed the lawn. And I did it when you're not supposed to, like right when the sun is at its highest and it's
Mm-hmm.
hot out, and it was awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice airplane. For
I
those,
mowed.
sorry,
Sorry.
no, please,
Sorry. No,
please.
I don't know what you were
Oh, I was
gonna
just gonna
say.
say for those who have been with us, for over a year, or for almost over, no, wow, for over a year that we've been doing the show, they know that in the summertime, we get to hear all of the wonderful ambiances of Michelle's life. The birds, the airplanes, the unsolved homicides of Philadelphia
It's loud
nearby.
here. Yeah.
So, but no, it's charming. Let's just agree it's charming.
Okay.
I'm glad you could get on board with that. But no, so I mowed the lawn, and of course it took forever because I had to keep stopping to drink water. Because it's so hot out. And I have to pace myself because I was sick for a little while. So, but I've been working towards having more energy, or well, testing how much energy I have, and I've been working towards being able to get more accomplished in a day and stuff like that, and it's been going very well. Like as I
Good.
record this right now, I've basically finished everything I need to do except for like the last minute things I have to do tomorrow before we film the movie over the weekend. For those who don't know, I'm returning to the set earlier than I'd planned, to finish up a movie. That's details are somewhat secret. I mean, if people really want to know what the movie is, they really would have to go to Patreon to find out. And I think that's linked in the show notes. I'm not in a plug-in mood, although I would love more money right about now because making movies costs you money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because that's been the worst part, I've been meaning to just send people that episode where I talked about this whole mess,
Hmm.
like to explain why certain things are not complete yet, like why I
Yeah.
haven't done Babysitter Massacre 2 yet. But then I'm like, they'll have to trudge through like 40 minutes of like crying and like self-doubt and stuff.
Oh, but that might make them really understand.
Well, maybe, but I mostly just want them to know that it really just comes down to money. I mean, I don't. I love what I do. I love making movies, but I do make my living from it. So money is a major factor in decisions. And it really just comes down to the fact that I have the budget set aside for Babysitter Massacre. It's not mine. I can't, well, I could totally embezzle it and no one would bust me. I mean, how would they?
Because they heard this, so now they know that that's what you're gonna do.
Okay. You calm down now. But no. I mean, I guess I could totally embezzle it, but the entire goal of lockdown was to not touch that money.
Mm-hmm.
That's been the entire goal. And it's one of the reasons I've been trying to get as many jobs going during the pandemic as I could, regardless of what they may be. So the reason I haven't tackled Babysitter Massacre yet is number one, we're still easing out of the pandemic. and some people don't want to do it yet. And I mean, that's a big reason. And then number two, I could use an injection of cash to get me by until we go shoot that movie. So that's kind of where I am for those who, weren't around a couple weeks ago when I was talking about it kind of intensely. So it's like, yeah, I need this work. I just need to go do another job real quick so that I can kind of get the stability to go do this job.
Yeah.
Because that was my first fear. You probably remember me talking about it. That was like my first fear when the pandemic happened, and I realized I wasn't going to be working any of the jobs I thought I was going to be. As I was just like,
Mhm.
well, what am I going to do? I have money in the bank, and it's all for Babysitter Massacre, so I
Yeah.
can't spend it.
Yeah.
So, and it always sucks to have money you just can't spend.
Mhm.
So, it is what it is. I can't wait to film Babysitter Massacre 2. And this is, I'm hoping, the beginning of me starting to feel like, hell yes, I can get going after being sick for so long and go make movies again.
Yeah.
Cause I really want to get back on track. Cause my feature work was thrown off ever since the Boggy Creek, the series. Cause that was such a massive undertaking. After I did that movie, I just kind of fell right into producing.
Mhm.
And my directing was kind of falling to the wayside. So yeah, I want to get back out there and work, and I really want to deliver to everybody the Babysitter Massacre sequels. And I hope that they love them as much as I'm gonna love them, because that's the other thing, and that's the hardest thing. Babysitter Massacre, in particular, Babysitter Massacre 2 has to be exactly what I want it to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm obsessed with that because Babysitter Massacre was exactly what I wanted it to be, and
Mhm.
people loved it so much. And speaking of which, it's finally back on video on demand
Yay.
after several years not being available on to rent anywhere. The only way you could get it was to buy it on Blu-ray or DVD. Now you can find Babysitter Massacre. I'm told it'll be on lots more places soon, but right now you can rent it for like $2.99, or maybe it's $1.99, $2.99 or $1.99 on Amazon. So you can't really beat that. That's a good price to get a rental. So
Yeah.
it's back. Amityville No Escape is also back on Amazon, and a Prime option. So
Okay.
so you can watch it on Prime. So I just want to mention that. But yeah, so that's really what's going on. So I'm making this movie because I have a deal where when the movie is done, I get money.
Mhm.
And not I love making all types of movies, but when you make a movie, and I often have done this, I make a movie with my own money, or money I've raised. I don't really get paid per se. I might get a little money if there's some left over, but I don't really get paid. What I get paid is later, when it comes out, when it starts being seen, when people start buying merchandise. And that's, to use show business terms, that's speculative, is
Mhm.
what you call that. So a spec movie, not a movie about the serial killer Spec, but although that would be a spec movie if I made one, but a spec movie about a spec movie, uh Richard spec movie. But no, no, but so spec movies are really important to my business model, but you have to be able to wait 6 months to 18 months, really,
Mhm.
before
Yeah.
you might get paid.
Yeah.
And that's really tough. The other day I got a freelance job out the door extra early, and I was so proud of myself. But I was walking along, walking the dogs, talking with a friend, and I was all proud of myself. And I said, "Yeah, I got it out today, so tomorrow don't have to worry about it." And then I was like, "And I mean, they're gonna pay the invoice in the same 5 to 8 weeks anyway,
Yeah.
so I guess I didn't. All I it was, but I'm taking the win. The win is
Mhm.
for me."
Yeah. Yeah.
So, um, but yeah, so that's what's been going on. I will say, for those who have been keeping track of all this, I'm feeling a lot more positive about going back to the set now. We have good weather this weekend. I mean, predicted, which is always a plus.
Mhm.
Uh, it's like a 4% chance of rain on Saturday and under 20% chance of rain on Sunday, which means maybe there's like one, sprinkle
Yeah.
on Sunday. That's all good. The following weekend, they're predicting some minor rain, but it's so far out, it'll probably be totally different.
Mhm.
So, but every day we win is the day we win. So I'm going to go out there and I'm going to work my butt off, but it's been weird. So I'm used to being both the boss and the most, I don't know, not disposable, but expendable member of the crew at the same time. I'm used to running the set, but also like if nobody else can walk all the way back to the house to get the cold bottled water, I volunteer.
Yeah.
Because I like a break from all the hard work I'm doing with, setting up cameras and setting up microphones and talking to actors. But it's not really a good use of my time when my physical abilities are diminished the way they are right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still suffering from some, not much, but some shortness of breath. And I'm just definitely, my stamina is way down from convalescing all the time. So it's weird to know that like one of the jobs the producer on the project has is to monitor my situation. And because we have very light, by my standards, very light schedule, 4 scenes on Saturday, totaling a grand total of like 8.5 pages. And then Sunday is like, I think 3 scenes or 4 scenes, and it's like 6.5 pages. Now, a lot of people, if you're listening to this and you've made movies, you're like, oh, that's normal. Not on most of my movies. The first day, because we shot a day of this movie and then we had to shut down due to coronavirus concerns in
And
November.
weather.
And weather. Well, weather
Yeah.
shut us down for that weekend.
Yeah.
But coronavirus concerns shut us down for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I had been telling people due to weather, we may put it off 2 weeks. And then in that 2 weeks, people kept getting COVID. And I was like,
yeah.
Okay, new plan. When this surge ends, we'll start talking about it. And everybody's like, great. And then they message me and they're like, hey, the surge ended and I'm having COVID. And I'm like, well, let me just get over this bug real quick. Real quick. So the look of despair on your face for my sake.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. So that's, so that's the what's been going on. But so one of the producer's big jobs, other than to just help me stay on task, is number 1 goal is shoot everything on the schedule. Number 2 goal is me be okay. Like me feel fine. I sound like me feel fine, but like have me feel fine, make sure I'm taking rest, make sure I'm drinking water. Everybody will have to be drinking water because it's gonna be like 85 degrees outside.
Yeah.
And then number 3 is if the first 2 are good, try to work ahead and just get extra material in the can in order to to get the production moving faster than we planned, because we set a conservative goal. But it's totally possible I'll get on set, I'll take my inhaler, I'll drink, a cup of my fancy Brazilian coffee, and then all of a sudden I'll be feeling it and I'll be excited, and all of a sudden I'll work straight till 7 and not be regretting it. It's also possible that it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
And I really don't know which way it's going to go. So if it's hard, they've set me just enough goals, and if it's easy, then I think we'll get wicked ahead and have a nice time. So
yeah,
that's what I've been worrying about daily, hourly. But the closer we get, the more I start to feel like, I'm excited. I think this is going to be fun. We have a great cast. We have a really great crew. A whole lot of people stepped up to the plate, especially when they heard how I was doing and that we really need hands.
Yeah.
Because it sounds so silly until you actually have to because you recovered from shoulder surgery. Like things are so different when you have to pace yourself very specifically in order to be all right.
Yeah.
So the idea that we need extra crew, and one of the reasons is I will not be allowed to unload the car. Because the attitude is that energy would be better spent hiking to the location, setting up my camera, and preparing what I'm going to do with said camera and actors. When the tradition has always been that I unload, the car with everybody.
Yeah.
And I'd like to get back to that because it's not that big a deal to carry stuff. But we are shooting, for those who don't know, it's a Western. And it's nothing but prairies and valleys, and you have to hike and hike and hike. So the way we're planning it is for me to hike the least amount of times. Of course, that'll
Yeah.
also depend on how many times I need to use the bathroom or wash my face because I'm tired or whatever. Yes, I can use the bathroom outside, Michelle.
No, I wasn't even going to say that. I was going to say you should bring some water to wash your face so you don't have to go back.
It gets tricky. That depends because when it's that hot out, you don't want to waste any cold bottles of water.
Well, oh, okay, you're right.
No, I'm
But
just
then,
if it was like the end of the day, I
yeah,
wouldn't care because we could just
yeah,
get more bottles. What were you gonna say?
yeah.
What were you gonna
Oh,
say?
I was just going to say that, but going back, you will waste, you will dehydrate more, so it's going to end up evening out.
That's true.
But no, I understand what you mean. Yeah.
And also sometimes just facing the schedule makes my stomach churn, so I like to
You
sneak
have
off to the
to,
bathroom and just kind
yeah.
of it's also like I'm giving away all the dark secrets of my directing career. Sometimes I go to the bathroom just to be alone because everyone needs you every minute when you're on set and they all have questions. And sometimes you just need like 5 minutes alone.
That's so smart.
I thought
When
you were
I
going to
want
say
to,
sad. What were you
no,
going to
well, yeah, but
say?
when I want to be alone, I just hide behind something and hope nobody sees
Yeah, but
me.
you're small. You can get away with that.
No, I can't because they see me anyway, and then I have to pretend I'm doing something.
Well, I remember, the first when I first learned that trick was on Babysitter Massacre because on the last day of filming, of principal filming on Babysitter Massacre, we were in this awesome apartment location. They had a beautiful basement that photographed great and the perfect kitchen for the big finale. So it was awesome because in filmmaking, it's called company moves when you have to move everybody to another location. Even if it's just across the block, it's a company move. It eats up time.
Yeah.
So if you can shoot a movie where it's like, oh, we need this creepy basement, but then we also need like a nice looking kitchen, but a kitchen we can get bloody or we can do, shoot in for 5 hours or whatever, because there's always details of what you need. When you get lucky and they're like, oh, well, that can be the same house, you literally save, half an hour to 45 minutes of your day
Sure.
because you not only because, I told that to somebody once and they were like, well, how long does it really take people to get to the set? And I'm like, well, first they got to pack up all their stuff, pack up all the lights and disassemble them. I got to tear down the camera. I got to tear down the tripod. Then we all got to load our cars. Then we all got to go there, hope everybody finds it and that it's easy to find. Then we've all got to unpack and undo everything we just did.
Yeah.
Or you walk 3 lights up a flight of stairs and set them back down and go,
Yeah.
let's do this, motherfuckers. But so on Babysitter Massacre, I remember everybody was the problem was that everybody was on they were on their job really well. That was the problem. The problem was that everybody was like, hey Henrik, what gel did you want on this light? Hey Henrik, how do you like this on the blood? Like, hey Henrik, does this makeup look okay? Like everybody was doing their jobs. So I was being asked 80 questions a minute, it felt like. So I answered, and just like walked straight to the bathroom from answering everybody and sat down. I need to use the bathroom anyway, and I've been putting it off. But so I used the bathroom and then I just sat there for a second and I was like, this is nice. This is nice. Like, I'm just gonna be alone for a minute. And then I recouped, and now hopefully nobody listens to that because they'll know and they'll just knock on the door and be like, I
Yeah.
know what you're doing in there.
And I have questions.
I know what you're doing in there. You're trying to get a moment's peace. No, sir. It doesn't even, it's not even about the fact that people wouldn't give me a moment's peace. It's just, it's much easier to politely say I need a second away, like I don't want to answer that right now, by just going to the bathroom than it is like, telling them like I don't have time for it right now, because that could be taken insultingly.
Yeah.
That could hurt someone's feelings, especially because they've been working really hard all day for you. So it's just easier to be like, I'll be right back, I'm just gonna use the bathroom and then we'll talk about it. And that's me just taking a minute for myself, or in rare cases using the bathroom. um So, I mean, it may partially be related to the fact that in my earlier filmmaking career, I always ate McDonald's breakfast on the way to the set. I mean, that
Oh.
pretty much guarantees you're going to get a lot of time to yourself later in the afternoon. So, but no, so I am excited. And we, the crew, the cast is excited. It's simple stuff the first 2 days. Because so the other thing about this, and the other reason that this movie was being shot so early, was it was written with COVID in mind. It was
Mhm.
written to need the smallest possible crew and the smallest possible cast. But now those restrictions aren't really necessary.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're not gonna we're a B movie. We're not gonna have 35 to 55 people anyway. Like if we jack up everything, we might hit 20. We're probably looking at like 14.
Yeah.
So but that made a big difference too, because when we were rescheduling and adding and letting the schedule be a few more days longer, uh it was like, oh hey, let's get more crew in, because
Yeah.
before we had like two crew people, so I was literally the first go around hauling lots of stuff
Mhm.
constantly. And then we would go into the barn on the location and steal a wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
So like all this expensive like film equipment and lighting equipment's just in like a filthy horse wheelbarrow, like full of that you fill with like horse dung or horse food, depending. I don't know how
Yeah.
the world works. So so yeah, I'm excited about it. I get a little nervous, like just now mowing the lawn. I had to keep taking breaks to drink water. But at the same time, when I'm on set, I'll be wearing not only sunscreen, but I'll be wearing, a sun hat, and
Mhm.
I'll be spending a lot more time worrying about being comfortable. And when we shot Calamity Jane's Revenge, it was in the high 90s most days.
Wow.
I had to give speeches to everybody about how important it was to stop everything and cool off. I had bought these little rags that were meant to be put on your neck to keep you wet,
Mhm.
and I kept them in the ice chest. So people would be like, mine's dried up. And I'd be like, just throw it to me. And they throw it to me. And I'd shove it in the ice chest and throw them a fresh one. I'd be like, stay cool. But then, of course, the actors are all wearing cowboy garb and they're not allowed to wear anything like that because that would make them look inaccurate. So,
Yeah.
but at least they get hats.
Mhm.
I remember when we were filming Calamity Jane's Revenge, every time I told Al that was a wrap on that scene, he would excitedly take off that leather vest because it was so warm.
Yeah.
So, uh-oh, Michelle,
What?
I just realized, I mean, we're having a pretty casual episode,
Yeah.
which is good. So I guess I better bust out the Diet Coke.
Oh.
Oh, that got me.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a terrible idea to do it that way.
That's okay. It's okay.
Diet Coke. That's a tradition on my set. People will bring me Diet Cokes. Like crew people who come late. Like not like they're running late, but like people who are like, oh yeah, I could be at the set around 1,
Mhm.
and they'll stop by. They almost always like have a Diet Coke in their hand, and I'm like, I love you. Give me that
Aw.
Diet Coke.
And they're like, it was for me.
And I'm like, everything is mine once you're on my set, comrade. Our Diet Coke. So anyway, I didn't realize I was going to talk about that for like half the episode, but I guess it is on my mind heavily
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
for obvious reasons. And I want to thank you, Michelle, because you've been really great through this whole thing.
I didn't do anything.
You have been super supportive and you've been regularly encouraging and positive while I've been trying to decide if I can even survive this stuff.
That doesn't sound like me at all, but
It sounds
okay.
exactly like you. When are you ever negative about anyone other than yourself?
Oh, I mean, not too much. I don't know. All the time, something like that.
You and your something.
Yeah,
I worry about you. We are all very worried.
I know.
But no, but thank you, because yeah, this has been scary. Finding out that we were gonna have to start back up weeks before I was ready was very scary.
Yeah.
Weeks before I felt I was ready, because that's the other thing is, I won't know until I know. But
Yeah.
oh, Michelle just walked away. Oh, did you just close your window?
I'm trying to. but I'm really far from it.
Michelle's attempting to close her window,
Ah,
a task I'm sure she's only ever done hundreds of times in her life.
that's all I got
Oh,
in me. I'm sorry.
listen to those sounds.
Should be a little quieter now.
Okay. I mean, you know, it was a lot more distracting. You went away and
I
fought with it.
know. I know. I was trying to just do it quickly and
I
then not
know.
call attention to it.
It was bad. You did a bad job.
I know.
Uh, but yeah, overall I'm getting this vibe that like maybe this will be the beginning of me being able to just work more
Hmm.
and get back to making movies regularly and get to finally make Babysitter Massacre 2. So,
Yeah.
because right now what I'm working on as this production continues forward, which will be wrapped like the middle of June, it'll be all done. Uh, is the rewrites necessary for Babysitter Massacre 2 because some people are no longer available and
Hmm.
stuff like that due to it being, you know, a year after we were supposed to be shooting it in like I think originally the goal was the end of May of 2020.
Wow.
I'm almost certain that number sound that date sounds right because we were going to shoot part 3 toward the end of August,
Okay.
which would be enough space.
Hmm.
So anyway, so that was the unrequested Babysitter Massacre Henrik Makes Movies update. So I hope it wasn't horrible. So why don't you say something, Michelle,
About what?
about your life?
I don't have a life.
Yes, you do.
No, I'm not making a movie.
I thought you were making a movie.
Oh, right. Yeah. But I don't want to talk about that.
It's got to be hush hush, you know.
Yeah.
All that Chinese money in it.
Mm.
Well, so how is home inspector school going?
It's going okay. Um, yeah, I'm mostly just scared about getting sued now
Ooh.
and messing things up. Like, actually, I'm more scared about messing things up than I am about being sued. I know they're connected, but the idea that like I would do a really bad job and then somebody would be like, "Cool, I have to live in this disaster now. Thanks, Michelle," is like really, really, really hurts me. So I have to get over that. Also, I'm scared of my house. So again,
Of your own house?
yeah, because I know things and I don't want to look at my house anymore.
But isn't it better? I mean, if you know things, then you can get ahead on them.
What if it's too late and I know something that I don't know. What if it's too late?
I doubt it's too late.
Okay,
I mean, how long have you lived there now? 4 years?
something
3
like
years?
that.
Yeah,
3
I mean,
years.
that's not enough time for something permanent and devastating to occur.
I feel like maybe it is.
I mean, do you think your home inspector missed something? Is that what you're saying?
Um, I don't know. I'm saying I don't know, and I don't like looking at it and thinking about it. And then also, is thinking about my last house and how I'm pretty sure there were structural issues. And because I was like, wow, the floor doesn't quite come to this wall. It's not supposed to do that. There's not supposed to be a gap there.
No, there's
And
not.
I was really worried. Like I saw it, of course, like after I was living there, and I was like, oh fuck, like I don't think this is good. And now I'm like, nope, wasn't good. I actually think I even know what the problem was, but like I just think about it all the time, and I think about how the wall wasn't connected to that other wall, and then the floor wasn't connected to the wall, and it's hard.
I'm sorry, Michelle.
It's okay. It's just
You sure it's okay? Are you gonna be okay?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's the spirit. So, I guess this has made you more neurotic, which I didn't think was really a goal that could be achieved, but
I mean, I knew this was gonna happen. I knew it. So, maybe. It's just, it has to be something. So right now it's just this.
yeah.
Because I'm vaccinated, so I don't have to worry about that right now. And maybe. And like I'm waiting, there's not another illness yet for me to worry about. So I gotta worry about my house right now, I guess.
I mean, it's good that you have hobbies, you know.
Yeah.
It's good. Oh, did I tell you I don't mean to derail, but did I tell you Chicano did a bad dog yesterday?
I don't think so.
Uh, I went to the drive-through because I'm not eating as well as I planned to. Um, I did well that first week, but this week I haven't been doing as good. But
Hmm.
you know what? I'll take it. So I was on my way back from the what?
Sorry, my neighbor is just cursing because he's mowing this lawn that's like as tall as him.
See, and you closed the window, so now we miss out on all that
I'm
good stuff.
sorry.
But no, so literally when I pull up with the dogs, because if I go to a drive-through or anything, the dogs come with me. They love going on rides, so they come with me. And generally speaking, I don't need to leash them or anything. They'll leave the house, go into the car. Chicano is a butthead, and he'll wander off a little bit, and usually just to pee, but then I have to keep calling his name until he goes, oh yeah, I guess I'll come. And then he comes by. As
Mhm.
to where Henwolf will run to me. So so I get home, it's like 9:30 at night with my food, and I notice there's a cat in my front yard. And there are not a lot of cats in this neighborhood.
Hmm.
So I'm like, there's a cat. So I get out before letting the dogs out, and I'm shooing the cat. Oh, hey, I'm like, dude, get out of here. Like,
Mhm.
go, because you're not gonna like this. You're not gonna like these two giant dogs. And the cat like is defiant. Like it doesn't want me to pet it though. It's like, oh shit. So I'm like, go, go, go. And all I'm thinking is like, there's no way Chicano's noticed this cat. He's in the car, like behind glass, looking around, all this stuff. So I get the cat to shoo enough. I open the door to the car. Henwolf jumps out, and then Chicano jumps out and immediately starts chasing that cat.
Yeah.
Runs across the street chasing the cat. Luckily, it's the middle of the night. There aren't a lot of cars, but I'm not going to lie. One of my greatest fears is that something would happen to him.
Mhm.
So I had to set my food down. I'm yelling, Chicano, Chicano, and he's just ignoring me.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I run across the street. The cat, gets away, obviously, pretty fast. And I pin him down in a neighbor's yard. Like I just pin him down with my hands. And he looks up at me like, what the fuck? Like all scared when I pin him down. And I
Aw.
scoop him up like a little baby,
Mhm.
and he lets out like a whine. I know I didn't hurt him. So I think I
Mhm.
just startled the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Scooped him
Yeah.
up like a baby, and I'm like, you little bastard. Like I'm like mumbling under my breath, like, you fucker, like what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm walking
Mhm.
him across the street. But the funniest thing about all of it was I look back and Henwolf is just sitting in the exact same spot in the front yard during this whole thing. She's so well behaved.
Aw.
Although she was sniffing at my food, so I was worried that I was going to get back and she had just eaten all of my Taco
Yeah.
Bell. Luckily that hadn't happened. But I was so impressed that I was like, what a good dog. She just sat right where I left her.
Yeah.
She must have known Chicano was misbehaving.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
So, but I picked him up, yeah, and then I set him down in the house, and then he looked at me, and I just went bad, and he was like, "Okay, whatever, man," and he like went and laid down, and for like an hour, I was kind of mad at him,
Aw.
and then eventually I went over and petted him and told him I loved him and I just wanted what was best for him, and that's why he was going to military school.
Mhm. Yeah.
So. Oh, that happened just late enough at night that I didn't call you about how my heart was pounding out of my chest that I
Aw.
thought Chicano was going to run in the street. Ugh,
I'm sorry.
it's okay. Usually Chicano wanders, he doesn't run.
Mhm.
He'll start to wander. I'm like, hey, get away from the street. Like, what's wrong with you? And then he'll come back. So, but Chicano is a butthead. He's also sleeping on my foot right now.
Aw.
So, Henwolf doesn't even recognize that cats exist, but Chicano would like to chase them. So, he's a good boy, but he shouldn't chase cats when I tell him not to.
Yeah.
I mean, I get wanting to chase cats. They look funny when they run and they're very fast. So they're a safe. Well, I'm just saying they're a safe thing to chase because you're not going to catch them.
Mhm.
That's the thing. Like that's what you want. You don't want to catch a thing you chase because then you got to figure out what you're going to do next. And usually, I never think that far ahead myself. You ever hear that old joke, like two old like guys in their like late 50s are like ogling this 19-year-old waitress,
Mhm.
and they're just like tongues are hanging out, and their wives are sitting across from each other, and one wife goes like, can you believe them? isn't that disgusting the way they're ogling that young girl young enough to be their daughter? And the other wife turns to her and says, I can't be mad. It's like a dog chasing a car. It's not like he'll ever catch it. And if he did, he wouldn't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I always love that joke. I'm glad I could tell a joke. So, on the tragedy element of having to make the movie in this time schedule, I can't stay up till 3:30 in the morning watching Joe Bob's Last Drive-In every Friday.
I know, and I'm sorry.
But we will be wrapped by the time the last episode airs. So the last episode, I think if the weather's nice, I'm going to put the TV out in the backyard and I'm going to have a barbecue.
Good. Yeah.
So I'm also going to throw a party, by the way, because we wrap on June 12th, I believe, or June 11th. It's whichever's the Saturday. And June 4th is 7 years that I have been an independent filmmaker for my full-time job.
Yay, Independent Day.
Yeah, you remember. This is why you're my best friend, Michelle. You remember stupid things like that. I call it Independent Day. Because I'm so stupid. Well, it's easy because it's easy to remember because it's June 4th instead of July 4th. It's very easy, to do that. Independent Day, yes. So I'm really excited about celebrating 7 years because it's like, holy crap, I'm getting closer to 10 years than I am to 5 years.
Yeah.
Like really close to, and I'm definitely closer to 10 years than, 2 years.
Yeah.
I consider that to be a victory. So, yeah. So overall, I feel just good and fortunate, I guess.
Good.
I do feel a little overwhelmed some days. I definitely find myself really tired at night, which is good because I need to go to bed and be able to wake up and go to my call time, which is not crazy early thanks to the summertime. Because when we were supposed to shoot this in November, the call time was like 7:30 in the morning. It was like the moment there was enough sun.
Yeah.
So because the days were short. Well, now the days are long. So
you could start even earlier now if you wanted to, because the sun's up like really early.
I don't want to start earlier.
Okay, fine. It'd be cool out.
Well, the whole thing is like I've fallen into a natural schedule of like going to bed at 1 or 2 and waking up at 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the idea that this won't be hugely destructive to my sleep schedule. So, because one of the big problems with making movies ever since I started doing it full time was that often I would fall into a sleep schedule like going to bed at 3 or 4 and waking up at 10 or 11, and then it'd be like, okay, but now you're making a movie, so you need to get up at 6:30 in the morning, and there'd always be that like couple of days of shock of like dealing with that. So I'm kind of excited that I'm already in that headspace. Also, it feels weird that I'm doing exactly what like my older relatives said, which is like, as you get older, you'll start waking up earlier.
It's true.
Well, you've always been an early riser, right?
I mean, for like a significantly long time, like it's not a new thing, but when I was like a teenager, I wasn't, but for a long time. So I guess.
As long as I've known you, you get up at like 6:30 or something.
Well, I get up at 7, but then I have to get up at 5 to go to work.
Wait, what?
What?
You said I get up at 7, but then I have to get up at 5.
Yeah, to go to work. Like I normally get up. I would get up at 7.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, Michelle. Okay. Well, so before we go, I feel like it's important to mention that your mother is getting a house.
Probably.
I mean, it's very likely. And you were a part of the home inspection. I mean, not legally, but
in the sense that I existed in the space.
Did that count towards your shadowing?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't count towards New Jersey, but it counts towards PA because you just have to be at. Like, it doesn't count. Like, I wasn't. No.
Okay, that was a long way to get there. Thank you.
Yeah.
So wait, so it didn't count. Well, why not?
Because I didn't like tell the guy and ask him to like sign up, and also like because it's not because I'm going to school and we're doing it through those people. I don't know. I like no, you like PA requires you to be part of an organization that has a membership requirement that you have to have inspected or been at a paid inspection of at least 100 homes. So, yeah, so any home I can get to that isn't part of my training and watch the inspection is important.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it did count toward the 100 homes.
Yeah, but it didn't count towards like the New
Your
Jersey
hours.
field training. Yeah.
Okay, that's still, well, I mean, good to make a dent in the 100 homes thing, because that's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, well, good. And the house seems nice. Your mom's excited.
Yeah, yeah. It's a nice house. Yeah, it has a really cool venting system from when it was built, where um, there's like a duct, and it's got a little vent, and the air goes up and in it, and then yeah. So that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't really explain that at all.
No, no, and I'm excited for the people who are only listening, because if it helps at all, her miming didn't help. So you guys are okay. Well, okay, so and finally though, on a scale of 1 to 10, how haunted was that place?
I don't really know. I didn't think it. I thought it was like a 2, but my sister, from looking at pictures, is concerned about several rooms. So we'll find out.
From pictures?
Yeah.
What about pictures?
She just didn't like one of the closets. It weirded her out. So,
Did it have a corpse in it?
um, I mean, not when we were there.